Welcome in guys to my NFL Week 13 recap. We start off with Thursday night's game, the Bills who were 8-3 going into this game, and the Patriots who were 6-5. And I talked about this in my NFL picks on Saturday. The supporting cast around Matt Jones is screwing over this Patriots team. This is why this Patriots team isn't going to get to the playoffs or go any further, in my opinion, because Bill Belichick, the GM, is fucking over Bill Belichick, the head coach. The aim of the game is to support your young quarterback, and that supporting cast he has is the dumpster fire. It sucks. It absolutely is bad. But you had the Bills win 24-10. Von Miller, he was out, but again, didn't matter for that. For the Bills, they still got the job done, 24-10, and then we go on to the early Sunday games. It's the Broncos versus the Ravens. Broncos are 3-8, and if I'm the Broncos front office, fire Nathaniel Hackett. He is the most overrated coach in the NFL. Again, you bring in Russell Wilson for this big ass money. The offense for the Broncos sucks. You know that Russ is 34-35. He hasn't got the legs that he used to. So put the supporting cast around him. I said that about Matt Jones a couple minutes ago, but do that with the old quarterback. If you're going to go all in with Russell Wilson as the guy and maybe to get you to a playoff position, get him a better supporting cast around him. But you have Lamar Jackson, who did get injured in this game. So we had Hundley, who came in as the secondary quarterback. He had 27 out of 32 throws, 187 yards, 1 touchdown, and it was a 9-10 game. The Ravens are now 8-4. Broncos are now 3-9. Then we had the Steelers versus the Falcons. Kenny Pickett had 18 out of 29 throws, 197 yards, 1 touchdown. Najee Harris had 17 carries and 86 yards as the Steelers won 19-16 to the Falcons. Then we had the Packers versus the Bears. Bears football. And again, you know, this is one of those games. I know a lot of Packers and Bears fans are like, Aaron Rodgers owned your ass and whatever. Again, I know, but and one thing I heard when this game was on, like the rivalry, like, what the hell are you talking? A rivalry between the Packers and the Bears? The Packers have been kicking the Bears' ass for years, for God's sake. The Packers have got more Super Bowls than the damn Bears. Like, the Bears have got 1 Super Bowl, and you know, you look at the Packers, they've had 2 legendary quarterbacks in Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. They should have more Lombardi trophies, but again, it is what it is. But there's no rivalry. But in this game, Justin Fields did a great throw to St. Brown. I really loved how he was actually passing the fucking ball. Luke Getz, he was like, oh my god, we actually need to help Justin Fields on the passing side of the ball instead of running the ball, half back down, this bullshit, but he still did some of that anyway. He did a field goal. The Bears, at one point in the drive, they were on offense, and then they was really going at the Packers, and then going for timeout. Like, what the fuck is going on with that? But then it's his Bears football. They gotta do something to fuck it up. So there was 19 and 10 in the third, and then Crosby gets it to 20 and 19, and then Watson had 2 touchdowns in the game, and Lewis got his second touchdown to make it 28-19. Justin Fields had 20 out of 25 throws, 254 yards, 2 interceptions. Dylan had 18 carries, 93 yards, and 1 touchdown. Again, this is a Packers team that is mid. A mid-ass Packers team, and a dumpster fire of a Bears team with a head coach that sucks, an offensive coordinator that's going to really hold back his quarterback in Justin Fields. This offensive Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator, is going to destroy Justin Fields' career because he's going to run him into the ground. He's already had a couple of injuries, and he's had some big hits this year in games because, again, the supporting cast, again, this has been a theme of this recap, has fucking sucked. And you've got Eberflus, he's a defensive coach. What the hell, defensive coach? He's defensive fucking mindset. His team's been going down and been falling behind all game this season. But again, that Chase Claypool, that was a great acquisition. Ryan Poles again, absolute idiot, but whatever. The Packers get the win 28-19. Then we get the Jags versus the Lions. The Lions win 14-40. A shutout for the Lions, 14-40. Trevor Lawrence has 17 out of 31 throws. He had 179 yards and 1 touchdown for the game. Then we had the Browns versus Texans, the big game, I think, of the early games. Deshaun Watson coming back to Houston. He was he had an okay game. He wasn't like the best, but again, he's just coming back. He hasn't played on the field for 2 years. So, but again, some plays he was looking a bit sloppy. But again, he's getting back into the rhythm of playing week in, week out. So again, giving the benefit of the doubt. But Deshaun Watson had 12 out of 29 throws, 131 yards. Nick Chubb had 17 carries and 80 yards as the Browns won 27-14. Then we had the Titans versus the Eagles. A.J. Brown returns. Well, A.J. Brown gets revenge against his old former team in the Titans, 10-35. Now the Eagles are 11-1. They're having a great year. Like I've said that before. Jalen Hurts had 29 out of 39 throws, 380 yards, 3 touchdowns in the game. I just love that Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown's chemistry is just fantastic. Inject that into my fucking veins. But yeah, the Eagles get a good win at home, 10-35. Then we have the Jets versus the Vikings, 2 teams in playoff contention. Vikings are really doing well under Kevin O'Connell. Again, I haven't heard many teams talk about how great of a job Kevin O'Connell has been doing with the Vikings. How he's transformed his Mike Zimmer team into his own team. I know he's still got a majority of Mike Zimmer's players in there, but again, I love what he's doing with this Vikings team. They're now 10-2 this year. The Jets, their defense has been really big. The Jets their defense has got them into this playoff position, and if they can get better weapons on the offensive side of the ball and get yourself a quarterback. Mike White, I know has been starting the last couple of games, but if you can get yourself a quarterback, maybe like a Geno Smith or something like that, then you could do something in next year. Then we have the Commanders versus the Giants. Commanders were 7-5 going into this game, and the Giants were 7-4. Commanders get the job. Well, the Commanders and the Giants tied the game 20-20. They couldn't get a win in overtime, and it went to 20-20. Then we had the Seahawks versus the Rams. Again, the Rams' season is just over at this point. They're 3-9. The Seahawks are 6-5. Geno Smith had 28 out of 39 throws, 367 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dallas had 10 carries and 37 yards. Again, Geno Smith, what a great season he's having for the Seahawks. And again, I could see him. A lot of teams next year should be going for Geno Smith, and especially like I just said, the Jets should be going for him. The Houston Texans should be going for Geno Smith. Maybe the Giants as well. There's a lot. Even the Lions maybe should go for him. There's a lot of teams that should be going for Geno Smith after this season. But yeah, the Seahawks win 27-23. Then we had the Dolphins versus the 49ers. Mike McDaniels returning back to San Francisco, but he wasn't a good return for Mike McDaniels. His Dolphins team lost 17-33. Jimmy G got injured, so the 49ers are now using their third starting quarterback. Trey Lance gets injured, Jimmy G gets injured. Now they're using a third-rate quarterback. Tua had 18 out of 33. Tua had 18 out of 33 throws, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then we had the Chargers versus the Raiders, and it looks like a resurgence in Las Vegas, because ever since Josh McDaniels oh my God, we can actually if we throw the ball to Davante Adams, he actually gets those points in the board. Oh my God, what a concept! Like you put Devontae Adams. If you actually throw the ball to the guy, he's actually going to get you points. Oh, that's what you signed him for, you damn idiot. So I'm glad at least they're getting themselves together. 20-27, and the Raiders are now up 5-7. Justin Herbert at 27 out of 47 throws, 335 yards, one touchdown. Derek Carr did 16 out of 30 throws, 250 yards, two touchdowns. Then we had the Chiefs versus the Bengals, a rematch from the AFC Championship game last season, where the Bengals, the Chiefs were defeating the Bengals, and then the Bengals got the win last season. The Bengals got the win at home yesterday, 24-27. Joe Burrow at 25 and 31 throws, 286 yards, two touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes has 16 out of 27 throws, 227 yards, 223 yards, and one touchdown. Then we had Jeff Saturday's Colts versus the Cowboys. Dak Prescott had 20 out of 30 throws, 170 yards, three touchdowns. You had Pollard, who's had a real good year for the Cowboys, an MVP kind of candidate. 12 carries, 91 yards, and two touchdowns, as the Cowboys win 19-54. And then we go to tonight's game, the NFC South game. It's the Saints versus the Bucks. Two teams this year, that NFC South, that division's in transition, but the Bucks get the win late on to the Bucks get a late on touchdown by White, and then a field goal by Suckup to make it 16-17, and the Bucks now are the top of the NFC South. They're now 6-6. The Saints are now 4-9, and that is the NFL recap for this week. Leave you guys thoughts on this week's games in the comments.